You know that feeling when you got 20 minutes for a meeting, you finally caught up on Slack, and you're thinking, maybe I'll actually get some deep work done today. Quick message for the meeting. How many merchants processed more than 10K last month, and what's their average dispute rate? There it is. 20 minutes. I need to find the right tables, write a query I'm confident in, and show up with an actual answer. Not a, I'll get back to you, an actual answer. Let's see how Ultimate Code can save me from this classic. Let me look into that and circle back. Let's dive into Cursor and check it out. So now that we're in Cursor, I already have the request pre-written down here. So I have a meeting in 20 minutes, and a PM just asked me how many merchants processed more than 10K in transactions last month, and what's their average dispute rate. Find the right tables, write the query, and give me an answer in 20 minutes. Okay, I have this in plan currently, and so we have multiple agents: plan, builder, and analyst. I like to start off with plan because nothing gets built. It's just talking. I like to talk back and forth with my LLM. Of course, if you want to go quicker, do a different agent and let it just start building, and it definitely will. So anyway, so we start off with the plan here. So it says 0 merchants hit 10K in December 2025. That came back at 0. Before your meeting, let me check why and give you the real numbers first. Okay, so problem here is that none of them did, and I'm sure we've all got questions like this before, where it's like, hey, like, what's the answer to this question? And you're just kind of like, oh, well, there isn't one. And you can see that it says, hey, like, they checked it out for us, and it says, oh, that explains that in December 2025, total revenue across all 385 active merchants was only $12,813. No single merchant has hit that 10K when the whole month combined didn't reach it. 10K threshold is too high for this data set given the average transaction values are $33. Let me run the query with actual data distribution in mind, and it's going to find the realistic answer and give us context to explain to our project manager. So first off, the answer to the question the project manager gives is like, nothing. But it doesn't just stop there. It actually digs further and says, hey, but we want to make sure we give them an answer. Because just saying there isn't anything isn't a good enough answer for data people. We want to make sure that we give them the best answer possible. So it says, here's everything you need for that meeting, including what to say about the 10K threshold. So the direct answer is 0. That's a data scale issue, not a data problem. Here's the full picture. So we have 386 active merchants. The highest single merchant revenue is $945. Average merchant revenue is $33. We have 0 merchants over 1,000, 1 merchant over 500, and 30 merchants over 100. And the average dispute rate is 8.64%. So it says data set averages $33 per transaction, with most merchants doing only 1 to 2 transactions per month. The 10K threshold is simply above what any single merchant can reach in a month at this transaction size and frequency. So it gives us, here's what we should tell the merchant. So it gives us a statement here. And then it gives us the actual query and the tables that it used. Let's say we want to change this question and say, hey, let's look at the full historical data and not just 1 month. Does that change the picture at all? All right, so now we're going to dig in and say, hey, like, if we go full historical, not just last month, do we have those bigger merchants to look at here? And so it's saying it's pulling the full 2-year picture. So we're looking at data from the past 2 years, which is our full historical for this specific data set. And while this is working, I do just want to mention, like, you can see that we're working with DuckDB here. This works with any of your databases, so Snowflake, Databricks, Postgres, anything that you want to work with, it works. This is all open source, so you can use it with whatever you want to work with. And you can see I'm using Claude Sonnet down here on the bottom. We work with any of your LLMs as well. So that's Gemini, OpenAI, Claude's. If you use an open source one, you can do that as well. So we have all those built in for you as well. You just got to connect your stuff in and be ready to go. And you can see this is working. So top merchants by revenue with raw numbers and dispute counts. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so here's our answer now. So you can see active merchants 386, all time 3,037. And you can see that we don't have any merchants over 10K ever over 2 years, but we do have 9 over 1,000. The highest single merchant is 4,200, and the average merchant revenue over all time is $57. So it's a little bit higher than that overall. And it does say there's a data quality problem worth flagging. So the dispute rate numbers reveal something important. So you can see that we have 2 disputes with 1 transaction with this merchant, and so on and so forth here, right? So these dispute rates are over 100%. That's not great. So there's, something's going on here, right? So either that formula is wrong, or, and there's even null merchant IDs in the top 15 as well, which you can see here as well. So we do have some data issues, and so I'm just going to say, hey, let's not fix the data issues right now. And then we can say, hey, like, give me an overview of the top 10 in December and the top 10 overall. Okay, so again, it's going to give us, I want to break down this top 10 in December, top 10 overall. These could be the same merchants, might not be, but these data quality issues are something you can call in that meeting as well, right? So if that project manager is like, hey, like, can go back to the meeting and say, hey, there's some things that are broken in here, right? Which could cause some issues with our data as well. So again, all good information here. And what I love about Altimate Code is it has the data engineering mindset. It has those data engineering skills built in. So it's not just answering that question. It's answering it with a data person's mind in place, right? So, okay, let's take a look at our top 10 in December. So here's our company names here. And of course, we even have a null in December as well here, which is not great. We have our risk tiers, medium, high, medium, revenue, so on and so forth there. And then we have our all-time here. So looks like we probably don't have any, no obvious overlaps here. But of course, we have our low, medium, only one medium risk tier here. So what we're seeing here is that the majority of these top 10 customers are low risk tier, but we do have a bit more higher risk in December than we do all-time, which we only have one medium risk there. So, and it says what, and it even gives us what stands out here. So December versus all-time are almost entirely different merchants. And so Meadows PLC is the only one that exists in both. So it's number 10 in all time, number 1 in December. Revenue is driven by transaction size, not frequency. So the company here is selling big numbers, just not selling a lot of them, right? So we have big check sizes, but we're not doing a lot of checks. Low risk dominates both lists, which, like I mentioned before, and then the null merchant row sits at number 2 all time and number 8 in December. And so that is just something to think about as well. So here's the plot twist. Turns out there were no merchants that processed more than 10,000 last month. But here's the thing. I didn't just show up to that meeting empty-handed saying there's no data. Altimate Code helped me explore the actual distribution, understand what we do have, and provide real context around merchant transaction patterns. That's the difference between I don't know and here's what's actually happening. I made that meeting with 3 minutes to spare. If you want to stop scrambling every time you get an ad hoc request, check out Altimate Code. Link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.